I just woken up and it is time. What's up YouTube, Otaku Games here, and this is day 1 of the Training Like Goku routine and episode 2 of the series. If you haven't checked out the introduction, make sure you do so you know what's going on. Alright, pausing very quickly for a secondary introduction. I am this guy, but about a week in the future. I'm going to be popping up in the videos throughout this series, giving more context and information for the workouts, the food, and just going to be talking about what went well, what didn't go well, what I feel I need to improve on, and any advice I can give to you guys as someone that's done the first week. So let's go. I am so pumped to get started. I've been up for about half an hour. I don't know if I'm gonna still be feeling pumped by the end of the day, but we'll see what happens. It's push day. I like push day, and I know it's gonna be a tough one, but it should be good. But first things first, I need to get some fuel, so I need to eat, and then we need to get changed. All right, let's do this. All right, starting off with breakfast, we've got porridge and eggs. I know it doesn't look majorly appetizing, but I'm telling you, this is the breakfast of champions. You've got a decent amount of fiber, high in carbs, decent amount of protein, and that's just from the porridge. Then you've got the eggs, another source of protein, sources of fat, supposedly good fats depending on which nutritionist you believe. I'm not gonna go too into that, but I'd say it's a very solid breakfast, a good way for me to start my workout and give me enough energy to get through it. So, I rate it. Macros and calories should be on screen so you can track what I'm having throughout the day. All right, quick fit check. For you guys that do know me, you guys know that I love tech fleeces. For you guys that don't, you're gonna find that out very soon. But I went with the orange and the blue tech fleece this week. Very Goku X Nike. I found it a few weeks ago and I was like, you know what, I have to get this one for this week. All right, we're changed, we're fueled up, so let's crush a workout. So of course, following this, I made my way to the gym, met my bro outside who agreed to help me film for the week, took time out of his schedule, big shout out to him. Actually, as you can see, he's got like the apparatus on his back. He actually films on Twitch. And we were also gonna be live streaming the Training Like Goku series on his Twitch as well. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that because the signal in the gym wasn't great, which was a shame, but it happened. But he actually does a lot of in real life content on Twitch. Make sure you check him out. I'm gonna put his socials in the description as well. Thank you again, bro. All right, let's begin. So with push day, the main muscles we're gonna be working are the chest or the pectoral muscles, the front delt, the side delt, and your triceps. Some of your back may come into certain exercises as well, but that's more of a secondary muscle group than anything else. And of course, the first exercise we're gonna be doing for push day number 1 is the barbell bench press, which I'm guessing a lot of you guys probably would have guessed because it's a pretty staple exercise, especially when it comes to push day and when it comes to strength training. More so because you're able to load it a lot more easily in comparison to dumbbell bench press, just because there's more stability there. So you're recruiting less of your muscles as stabilizers, able to more focus on just the lift to get it up. So of course, before I get to my working sets, I am gonna warm up. I know different people warm up in different ways. Personally, when it comes to weightlifting or strength training, I like to do warm-up sets before I do my working sets, especially, or like, to be honest, I pretty much only do it on the first exercise that I do. So for example, when it comes to bench press, I might get the bar first and bench that out for 1 rep. Then I might add a little bit of weight to that, bench it again for my 2nd rep, and then continuously until I get to my working weight, just so that my body is in a position where I feel like I'm warmed up enough to get the most out of my working sets. However, I would say warm up in the way that you're most used to warming up. As long as it's practical and it works for you, then do your thing. So as I said in the introduction video, the main aim here is to get 3 to 4 sets of 4 to 6 reps of about 70 to 80, 85% of your 1 rep max. For this, because it's my first exercise and I'm pretty fresh, I'm going for 4 sets of 6 reps. So I'm choosing my weight appropriately. That's why I've chosen 40 kg on each side or 100 kg overall. It's heavy enough that I'm finding it difficult, but light enough that I'm able to complete the exercise. To be honest, I probably could have increased the weight, but I would have had to sacrifice the amount of reps I could do, which probably isn't ideal, especially because it's the first exercise I'm doing. I've got the most energy. I might as well utilize the best out of it. And I feel like going to the higher rep range of strength training is probably the better way to go for it, at least for the first week. I'd probably start increasing the weight as I go on throughout the weeks, but just to get that stable foundation, I think it's better to go for the higher rep range at the moment. If you're not really sure about what weights you should be doing, I'd say go with someone that can help you spot and kind of test it out, maybe a little trial and error to see what you can do. I'd say a good rule of thumb is that if you're not hitting 4 reps for each and every set at least, you're going too heavy. And if you're finding it very easy to do 6 sets on each set, and you still got a lot of energy and you could probably do like 8 reps on each set, then you're going too light. So try and work it out that way. If you're not too sure, obviously go for the spot, let them help you. So if you're going too heavy, they can catch it, stuff like that. One thing I will say about strength training that I dislike is the amount of rest time. Obviously, to get the most out of it, you want to rest between 3 to 5, maybe slightly more minutes, just so your body can recover properly and continue for the next set. But I can't lie, I'm not used to doing that at all. I'm a hypertrophy guy at heart, and I very much get bored. I don't know if you guys ever feel the same way, but yeah, for me, it took a lot to get used to. Literally, I was just sitting there twiddling my thumbs. I don't know what I would have done if my friend wasn't there. Yeah, I would have probably been speaking to myself. That's the one thing I dislike about strength training. It just takes so long. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure your form's correct. There's loads of videos online for that. Let's go to the next exercise. All right, so the next exercise is probably one of the most difficult ones of the day, and that is the one-hand push-up. I classify this as a Goku exercise. I know like loads of different people do it. It's not specific to him, but I think Dragon Ball Z was the first time I ever saw it, and I remember thinking as a kid, that's so cool, I'm gonna try that all the time, I'm gonna bang it out, and I never did, until this year. Actually, I think I started learning how to do it last year, and obviously it's not perfected, as you will see. I think I'm doing all right though. My main rationale with this was that it was a Goku-esque exercise, plus you're gonna have all that weight on your one arm, so it is very much in line with the gravity training kind of rationale there as well. If you see my line of thinking, I say if you're not used to doing this exercise, I'd say, and you wanna start, by all means try it, but I'd say the easiest way to start is to try it with your legs as wide as possible and build from there, and slowly but surely try and bring your legs in. Obviously, as you guys can see, my form is not perfect and I'm working on it as I go on, and hopefully by the end of this training program, I'll be a lot better and it'll be a lot easier. At the moment, I'm very on and off. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't, or sometimes I can do it very easily and sometimes I can't. It's very much a mental game. It doesn't help that I do it straight after a heavy bench session. But then if you can do it then, you're gonna be able to do it a lot easier when you're fresh. Just remember it that way. Again, same, we're going for a 3 to 5 minute rest in between the sets. I went for 3 minutes for this one because it wasn't as intense, but I did get tired and I paid for it. So don't be afraid to take as much rest as you need. I was able to do 6 reps, I think that was, which I was very happy about. I think that's a personal best. I wasn't doing that before filming, so yeah. Especially as I'm trying this after bench as well. I don't know what happened, maybe it was adrenaline, or maybe, yeah, I had to get it for the gram. I do have to say that I did only do 2 sets on each arm for this exercise because it's a very difficult exercise. If you want to get the most out of it, you don't want to tire yourself out for the rest of the training. And I do feel like if you're not really able to do it very easily, you're gonna struggle when you get to the 3rd set. So I just thought it's better to do the 2 sets and then continue on. Next exercise is the dumbbell incline bench press. We're working on our upper pectorals at the moment. We're gonna leave the flat range of motion for a little bit. This exercise having a lot more emphasis on our upper pectorals and delts in comparison to the flat bench. I am using dumbbells because I do want to get that range of motion as well. It is good to be strong in all different kinds of ranges of motion, and I do feel like the dumbbells allow me to get my arms a little bit lower down than I would with the bar. Plus it's good to mix and match as well. I've already done the bar, so I'm going to try the dumbbells for this one. I am still going heavy, maybe not as heavy as I would have been able to go, but it's also my 3rd exercise as well, so I don't think it's too big of a deal. Also, because it is a dumbbell exercise compared to the barbell exercise, I am gonna have to recruit a lot more stabilizing muscles, which means we're also working on our muscle control, which is a staple thing for the gravity training as well. See where my rationale is at. For this, we will be doing 3 sets of 6, partly because of what the next exercise is gonna be, and partly because we will be working upper chest later on in the week as well, so we don't have to worry too much about it. Next, with exercise number 4, is the incline shoulder press. So I call it the incline shoulder press because if you notice, or you may not really be able to notice from the video, the bench isn't at 90 degrees, it's at 1 notch behind. I did used to do my shoulder presses at 90 degrees, but then I saw a few videos that suggested doing it at an incline would be better. It would be an easier alignment on your front delts and your lateral delts. I researched into it, I tried it out myself, and I do have to agree, to be honest with you. But yeah, incline shoulder press, 3 sets of 6, and we're good to go. One thing I will say about form when it comes to this specific exercise is make sure that you're bracing your core against the bench as you're pressing. You don't want too much of a curve in your spine as you're going through the motions because you're not going to get the most out of the pressing motion. The forces are going to be off because you're not able to get as much leverage as you would have. It's going to be difficult at first if you're not used to doing that, but it does work out a lot better in the long term, and it'll be better for your back as well. Exercise number 5, or push day number 1, is the weighted tricep dip. So I love this exercise, like it's one of my favorites. You're probably wondering why I'm doing it in between two treadmills. The dip bars were busy at the moment and I didn't really want to wait, so I thought I'd do it here instead. Still worked out, so it was good. So yeah, I think dips is a great way to work the lower chest area, just the way the exercise works with the alignment of your chest. More so than, for example, decline bench. I do like decline bench, but I don't think it's as effective maybe, especially when you're adding weights to the dips. Because it's a dip, I classify this exercise as more tricep based than the previous exercise that we did. I know it does work the chest as well, but because the triceps is a primary muscle in this exercise, I do want to do 4 sets to get the most out of it. I have been working my triceps in the previous exercises, but they've been more of a secondary muscle than anything else. So the aim would be 4 sets of 6 reps. I put 25 kg on my weight belt. You don't necessarily need to go that high depending on how easy you find tricep dips. What I would say is if you're not used to doing weighted dips, just try it out, go slowly. Even just putting 1 kg on the dip belt, that's still 1 kg more than you weigh that you're pushing. And obviously if you find that too easy, you can work your way up slowly and slowly and slowly until you get to that recommended weight where you're doing 6 reps 4 times. Another form of advice for this one, try not to go too low when you're doing these dips. You kind of want to go to 90 degrees and then back up. If you go too low, you risk injuring your shoulders, which we don't want to happen, especially because we've got so much weight on it. We're adding extra weight to our bodies. Yeah, it's not worth it. Next exercise is tricep pull downs, preferably with the rope, but if you can't find a rope, that's fine. It's not going to make a major difference. One, I think the rope is better for the movement. I think the basic principles are the same whether you use a straight bar or a V-bar. We'll be doing 3 sets of 4 to 6. Aim to keep your arms by your body. The only thing that should be moving is your forearms up and down. That's what's going to get the best contraction on your triceps. And brace your core so you're not moving too much. And you're done. Your triceps, your pecs and your shoulders may be feeling drained at the moment, but there's still one more exercise. The finisher, the handstand hold. And this is another gravity-based exercise, obviously with you being upside down, all of your weight is going to be on top of you. It's an interesting one. And it's a finisher because there's no sets. You do it once and you hold it for as long as you can. You can use a wall like I am, or if you're able to do handstands freestanding, then I say do that because obviously you want to make it as hard for yourself as possible. It is a finisher. The aim is to go for as long as you can, but I'd say start off at like 30 seconds and build up from there, or even lower. Even if you do 5 seconds, that's your max. That's your finisher. You've put in all the work and you put in all your effort into that. So don't stress too much about time. Just go for as long as you can. I would say you don't really want to go much longer than a minute though. And that is the morning workout done. I remember feeling very tired at the end of that and I needed some food, so let's go eat. So for my first post-workout meal, I've got pork steaks, basmati rice, scrambled eggs, and a lot of vegetables. Now in my introduction video, I said vegetables were very important. Of course, because seitan and vegetables are very much synonymous. We know that the word seitan is an anagram for the word that means vegetable in Japanese, and a lot of the seitans have vegetable-based names. Like Goku is Kakarot or carrot, Vegeta is vegetables, cauliflower is cauliflower if you guys have watched Super, no one sprouts I don't think from memory, but Broly, broccoli, Nappa was cabbage, Raditz is radishes, and so on. So I did want to incorporate vegetables very strongly into this, not only because it's healthy, but also because it matches the vein of what we're trying to do. Even though I do say so myself, this was a very great meal. I enjoyed it a lot. Obviously I made it and yeah, went down great. I will be putting the macros and calories on the screen. Following this, I mainly chilled. I may have gone to my MMA gym to pick up some Muay Thai shorts for the evening. Other than that, I rested, waited a few hours, and then I ate again. And here we are with post-workout meal number 2, shredded chicken with hoisin sauce and basmati rice. There's no vegetables in this one from what I can see. Don't know what happened, but at least we still are with the vein. Technically, because I've got rice, which is Gohan, so I'm gonna claim to that one. Also a very good meal from what I remember. Maybe not that healthy because the hoisin sauce has a lot of soy sauce as well, but we are doing a Goku diet and Goku loves food, I love food, so we're gonna have to charge this one to the game. As you guys can see, I'm already changed from my Muay Thai session, so let me show you guys the fit. So I've got my purple Dragon Ball Z t-shirt that I got from Uniqlo. I've got a matching do-rag to go with it. I've got my Muay Thai shorts to rep my gym. And I've got my tracksuit bottoms from Hypeland that are also anime based. Make sure you check out those websites because there's great places to get anime memorabilia. So I spent a couple more hours chilling and taking it easy. Then eventually it was time to make my way back to the gym for my evening session. Now you guys know from my introduction video that the evening sessions are more based around martial arts. For me specifically Muay Thai, but it can be transferable into any kind of martial arts really, depending on what kind of drills and training that you're doing. So the first thing I did when I got there was work on some mobility exercises. mainly because I was still feeling a little bit tight from my push day session, but I still feel it's something that's good to do in general because it improves my ability to be able to do certain workouts, and also works out being very good in terms of my Muay Thai, especially when I'm working on the clinch. So I took one of the lighter bars and did various mobility exercises for my shoulders, my rotator cuffs, which also helped to open up my chest as well, and it was a good way to warm up before I started my Muay Thai. I also couldn't resist taking up some fairly light dumbbells and throwing punches with them. Also very much a Goku exercise when he was in the gravity chamber. You don't actually have to do this, but I just thought it would be fun to do. Now for the main workout. So this was a pretty straightforward training regime. I just did shadow boxing. I put my gloves on to make it a little bit more difficult, make my hands heavier, get that kind of weighted training. It's not that heavy, but you know what I mean. I think if I remember correctly, I did 5 rounds, 3 minutes per round with 1 minute rest in between each round. And I pretty much played around with different types of styles and different types of techniques I could use. So some rounds I went quite quickly to work on my cardio and practice on my stamina. Sometimes I went quite slow and worked on my actual technique and focused on what I could do and what I could react to. I very much struggle with shadowboxing, to be honest. It's one of the things I'm worst at when it comes to training, because I struggle to actually visualize my opponent or visualize what someone could do to me. I think I'm better when I'm in actual sparring because I can see the person obviously and I can better react to it, but I do struggle when it comes to shadowboxing. I need to get that backing mentality where you can actually see the guy. But yeah, it's definitely something I need to work on and something I'm going to be working on throughout these next few weeks. So hopefully I'll get better at it. But yeah, different techniques. Sometimes I was doing defensive techniques and working on that. Sometimes I was working on my attack. It was pretty fun, to be honest, and it was good to put the gloves on again. It's also very interesting to film yourself because I never really know what I look like, but now that I filmed myself, I can see things that I'm doing well, things I'm not doing well, and I do advise it, to be honest, because I think it's something that will help me improve quite quickly. Fingers crossed anyway. The rounds weren't overly tiring by design, which is why I did a mix of fast and medium style intensity. I was a little bit tired after it because it's 20 minutes worth of shadow boxing. You're bound to be a little bit tired, but you don't want to be completely drained. Plus we weren't even finished. Following my shadow boxing, I did core work. It's not really something that I fit into my morning sessions when I'm doing strength training, even though technically you're engaging your core throughout your workouts in various ways. I did want to make sure that I was doing ab exercises as well and core work exercises in general. Mainly because if we're strengthening the whole body, I wanted to work as much of the body as possible, which meant starting off with the first exercise, straight leg twist sit-ups. Also a Goku exercise from the gravity chamber. You're going to be seeing that I'm pulling a lot of workouts from that specific point. I will take workouts from different places as well, but this is going to be one of the places where I'll keep referring to. But yeah, basically try and keep your legs straight, use your core to lift yourself up, do a twist at the top, down, back up, do a twist at the top. You could also do a variation where you're still straight legs, use your core to bring yourself up, you twist on both sides, then come down, up, twist on both sides. It doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, I want to say I did 3 sets of 10 of that, but I'm not entirely sure. I believe I did 3 sets of 10. It was very difficult, is what it is. That's what we're here for. We're here to develop. Following that was the weighted plank, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty much just a plank with the 25 kg weight on my back. I held it for a minute, which was very painful, but yeah, I'm very happy I was able to complete it. I'd say if you're not used to doing normal plank, just stick to normal plank. It's still that same level of engagement. If you do normal plank, then obviously go up. I'd say go up slowly, put a 5 kg weight at first or a 10 kg, whatever you're comfortable with doing, and then build from there. The aim is to hold it for a minute. I'd say anything between 30 seconds and a minute is pretty good. And you don't really need to do any more than that, I'd say. And it's just 1 set. And that was the evening workout done. I finished off with some stretches, especially around my hips, because my hips were quite tight from the shadow boxing. I stretched out my triceps from the morning session and my chest as well. Just some light stretching, 30-second holds on each, just to loosen up and make sure my body doesn't get too tight for tomorrow's session. Round 1 complete. Post-workout meal number 3 and final meal of the day was beef fried rice made by yours truly. It was pretty much diced beef, egg fried rice, pak choy and spring onions. Obviously bringing back those vegetables also. It went down pretty well. It was a big meal though. It took me a while to finish. And I know it doesn't look that large, but bear in mind, each of my rice meals, I want to say each one of them is about 400 grams of rice in each bowl. And that's just the rice alone. That's not including the meat and everything else. So that took a bit to get used to. I'm gonna put the macros and the calories on the screen also. Yeah, that's probably been the hardest thing, like how long it's taken me to finish the meals, just because they're so large. Even for me, someone that loves food, I'm not used to eating that much in one day. But as you can see, I finished it, empty bowl gang, so let's go. All right, day 1 is finished. 2 rounds of training, a hell of a lot of food. And I can't lie to you, I'm drained. Like my chest is finished, my triceps are finished, my front delts are finished. Even my abs are slightly finished from this evening sessions, which is good. We're training like Goku for the next few weeks, so go hard or go home. It is what it is. I had a lot of fun today, I can't lie. I definitely pushed myself quite hard, which I'm impressed about, but we'll see how we go as the weeks progress. We'll see if I can get stronger and keep going. We go again tomorrow, obviously. Pool day number 1, which I'm excited about. It's gonna be difficult. And I'm actually watching a Muay Thai fight later on tomorrow. One of my coaches is going to be fighting, going to be cheering her on. Yeah, it should be fun. And then obviously we have training in the evening as well. So it's going to be interesting. Weirdly, in terms of food, I feel like both full and not full at the same time. Like I've definitely eaten a lot of food and I don't think I could eat much more if I wanted to. But at the same time, I feel like my body's making use of the food quite quickly. So I don't know, maybe my metabolism's speeding up, or maybe because I've burnt so many calories today that my body's just burning through it quickly. So we'll see what goes on. Yeah, you see, I'm even rambling. I'm so tired, I don't even really know what I'm saying. Like, ignore that. But yeah, I'm gonna catch some sleep, rest up, be ready for tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Catch me tomorrow for the next one. Until next time, I'm out.